And here we are for the exciting conclusion. Just make sure this recording's up and running. Absolutely. We are golden, like Midas and his throne. But here we have SKT able to close out the game. Despite being down a little bit of gold, and they were up a dragon early. So it was exactly the same like the first game, but unlike the first game, KT was not able to knock down more towers, and SKT was able to win some key team fights and by some excellent Azir plays and the stand-up top lane performance by Thal. Also very, very solid effort by Bang. They were able to pull out that victory, getting the 2 inhibitors and pushing it all in. So Thal is once again here in the top lane. He's going to pick Vladimir again, and hey, why not? You're a rookie here on the most storied franchise of all time for League of Legends, and you just had a good game, so why mess with it? Do play the exact same thing. Just, hey, I'm going to play this. I'm pretty good at it. Try to beat me. So this time they're going to know that this Vladimir is top lane, as Faker doesn't play Vladimir. And so they're going to know it's Thal in the top lane. Here, Blank going for the Jarvan. So taking the ever-popular Prince of Demacia, who's got a little bit of everything in his kit. This would be a takeaway from Faker, so you take the Azir and you have the Ryze band, you have the Zoe band, and you're going to say, okay, Faker, what else are you going to bring? And the thing is with Faker is he has at least another 5 or 6 champions that he can still bring out and still beat you with. So it's really hard to pinch Faker's champion pool. The best you can normally do is getting 1 to 3 bans on his most played and his most comfortable, and hope he doesn't hard carry with whatever he picks. His famous LeBlanc's of course still open, but he doesn't like to pick that unless she's meta or if the game calls for it. And with a Tom Kench being picked, you wouldn't want a LeBlanc here. You would probably want a more stabilizing force. Probably, I could see maybe something a little bit away from the meta. I could see Italia being played from Faker, but let's see what these bans are going to be first. So Jace banned against Smeb, Malzahar against Faker. So Malzahar much more meta. This is before the 8.2 nerf. Kha'Zix taken away from Score. And is it going to be a support or a mid lane ban here? They're going to do another mid? I don't think so. I think we've got most of the main mids. I think it's going to be a support ban. Maybe a Braum ban is what I would guess. Xerath. So that targeted a Faker as well. So it was another mid lane. And I know Bjergsen and Faker like to play similar champions. Just, you know, at occasional times, and Bjergsen pulling out the Xerath being much debated upon, but this time Faker's not going to get a chance to play this. So let's see what SKT picks, but first KT is going to be choosing their jungle and their top lane. They already know who the jungle and top lane is for SKT, so you know you're against Vlad, you know you're against J4. This is going to be a Jax most certainly for the jungle, yes. And that's great, the scaling jungle of Jax when you have an Azir in the middle. This is the type of combination that I'm talking with, is you're able to control mid lane waves, continually push them on your opponent, and it gives your jungler a lot more freedom to move around the map without being harassed. Now it's going to be the top lane and a very, very safe Maokai, which... you know, yeah, it's not great into Vladimir, but it can still farm and is still a mid-game terror. Of course, doesn't scale as well as Vlad, but not many people do. Now this would be very interesting. I don't I don't see it though. The Ornn would also be a little bit unusual because that would be going top lane, and then Faker is going to be on Vlad. So that's a champion we don't see him on too often. Because you would, this was a little bit of champ select baiting here by SKT. They purposely chose Vlad first, and they were knowing that KT was going to assume that Vlad was going to go top. They then picked Ornn last, signifying that Vlad is actually getting played in the mid lane. So the top and mid lane matchups now, that was decided by SKT by their very clever pick and ban and choose phase. Is well, we're gonna see it shortly. They're gonna show everyone, and then they're gonna do the champion and player reveal, one against the other. So we have Maokai and Ornn. It's going to be a very boring top farm lane. There we have the Jax that scales better than the Jarvan. Jarvan better ganks. Mid lane, Palm Azir into Vladimir. The Azir should push the Vladimir in a little bit, but they're both pushing carries. Azir versus Kalista. Generally, I like the Kalista in that matchup. And the two most popular supports as of late, Tahm Kench and Braum. So, boring top lane, boring bot lane. You have two wave clear scaling mids in middle. This really, you know, in a live event, I would never say so, but this is going to be, looks like, just by champion select, an extremely boring game. If these were two of the best teams in the world, I would not cast this game. But these are without a doubt top 20 teams. You know, SKT might have fallen, KT might have fallen a little bit from your power rankings, but they're still most people's top 10 and everyone's top 20 in the world. So here we are, the two of the storied franchises in the LCK region, drafting these comps that are really, looks like, only going to be exciting out of the jungle, and possibly for mid-game team fights. That's about it. Looking at all the work done by Tal, which was quite substantial. Lots of damage. Now it's going to Faker's turn. Going for the Unseen Spellbook. 3 now on SKT. And none for KT, bucking the trend. No spellbooks. And how many hourglasses do they have? Look at those wards play. 71 to 28. So that's the disadvantage. One of the many disadvantages with picking Shyvana jungle is you get a lot less ward placement. Having to go to the attack speed jungle upgrade, it really limits the amount of total vision that your team can place. And in solo queue, not as important, which is why Shyvana is one of the top solo queue junglers. But in competitive, we're seeing hot and cold games with this Shyvana pick. And even though last game it won, this game, well, next time we're not sure whether it's going to or not. But here we are. The game is even. Early CS lead by the Azir, who's in all likelihood pushing in the Vladimir, but it's no big deal. Vlad's only down by 2 farm right now. Wave is very much in Faker's favor. This is where you want to be if you're in mid lane. Right in front of your tower, but having the minions not get lost to tower shots. We have Tal here as Ornn picking Smite. So he has Smite Flash. Because he's got Unseen Spellbook, he can do this. Bang going with a traditional heal Flash, even though he has the Unseen Spellbook. The Maokai in the top lane going Aftershock, so that's the popular pick, though you don't see Maokai too often in the top lane in competitive play recently. You are still seeing it in solo queue. It's a very solid pick. Have to admit, I still play him in the jungle a la 3-4 patches ago, but all of the top competitive players have basically switched over from Maokai to be in the top lane. And Jarvan, he went from primarily a top lane pick for a little while, a few patches ago, to now an entirely jungle pick with a Cinderhulk buy. So not even going warrior anymore. Faker with a little early vision. He didn't ward the bush down below him. He warded just beyond that and into the enemy's jungle, so trying to get a little bit of early vision. Infernal Dragon is the first dragon up. We're going to see if either of these teams prioritize this dragon before 10 minutes. The mid lane, Azir going a second Doran's Ring with a control ward. Already a number of control wards purchased for KT. Work on this early vision. Definitely don't want to be ganking the Vladimir early on. When he's got flash and soon to have stopwatch. Wasn't sure if Jack was going to start that dragon a little bit early for him. I know certain junglers can take the dragon at level 4, but I didn't think Jax was one of them. And it's making sure to get the scuttle, get the blast cone. Now you control the dragon area. Really good vision around it. In prime position, he's calling for help. That would be the KT jungler Score. Don't know who he wants help from, but he was putting up the flag. Ezreal stealing an elixir, as we can see in his build. Probably looking to sell that, but just might use it in a time of need. Good damage by Pawn, just hit the level 6. All in is not that effective against the Vladimir. Against many other mid lane opponents, he would have jumped in there to use the ultimate. But with Vladimir, just need a pool. Fairly even with the farm. There's only the slightest of advantage for deft. As we go up the map, we see Faker is being able to pull into a slight lead against Pawn. Over in the jungle, Score doing a very good job getting a slight CS lead on Jarvan. And then we have the Maokai being able to push in the Ornn slightly on the top lane. Ornn going for that Catalyst first. Maokai with the Spectre's Cowl. It's a little bit too early for these big busty tanks to be getting involved too much. They mostly want to get an item or two, have the wave push for them in top lane against the enemy's tower, and then look for a TP play. That's the perfect sequence of events. Sometimes it doesn't work that way, and this way, and with this situation, with an early Infernal Dragon, these top laners might not get a chance to get an item or two before engaging in the major team fight. Here's Maokai, just pushed in the wave in top, did a back, and does not have teleport up just yet. One thing to keep an eye on is the top teleport timers from both Tal and Smeb. Tal has about 20 seconds left on his teleport. He's got the Unseen Spellbook, so he started Smite, but he switched it to teleport, and it's now up right now. Whereas Smeb, he's got Aftershock, so regular teleport cooldowns, he still has about 3 minutes left on his teleport, maybe 2.5. So a teleport advantage for Tal for the next 2.5 minutes. here in top lane. So if there is a big team fight, both these top laners are level 6, but Tal is the only one that has the teleport currently. Big advantage of having Unseen Spellbook and your opponent not having it. Kalista got a slight CS lead at 11, as is the current count. Maokai might not have a TP, but he can just walk on down, and it's not Maokai, it's Meowkai. Got to be one of my favorite skins in the game. It's just not a very popular champ in terms of favorability. Like, he gets played a lot, but just people don't like him because he's big and tanky and CC, and yeah, not really the fun solo queue hard carry type of top laners. Action going around the dragon. It looks like there's going to be a smite fight. Jack's doing an E and then smite, so being able to get that little bit of damage and then completing the smite. That was well played. Looked like Blank had his smite on cooldown, so it didn't even have the smite. That is SKT. So good pickup there by Score. Had to use Flash to get over that dragon wall, but Flash for a dragon, Vernal at that's more than worth it. Ezreal's got his core items down below. He's got that Sheen, he's got the Tear, that Relic. So he's in a good position, just in a standard position. Kalista hasn't bought in a while, only has the Vampiric Scepter, so going to be looking to upgrade that to a Bilgewater on the next back. Most certainly has enough gold. Three members of SKT going free ass boots. Jungle, mid, and AD carry. Compare that with only, well, 3 as well for KT. And on the stopwatch count, we have no stopwatches for KT and 3 stopwatches. So jungle, mid, and AD carry on SKT all going stopwatches and boots. Good poke by Pawn, going to be pushing the lane in. Got that first component to the Nashers and the second component. So looking for a good time to go back to pick up the completion of that item. Going to be poking out Faker a little bit first. Ultimate going down. Faker's going to try to do a little bit extra damage, but can only do so much. Being countered by Jax, and the pool quickly counters that counter strike. Ooh, that's a double counter. Counter strike. About a 400 gold lead from KT, really practically even at this point. The main difference is that Infernal Dragon that's gone over, well as the farm lead that Jax has been able to get over Jarvan. Again, nothing too unusual. It's about really where it should be, about 20 here at the 12-minute part, but the Dragon is a little bit that it's gone over towards KT, and then a slight advantage for Kalista over the Ezreal. Got that Bilgewater and Ninja Tabbies. We'll be looking to get that Blade of the Ruin King as soon as possible. Should be able to duel Ezreal as long as Ezreal isn't hitting absolutely everything. He just finished his Iceborne Gauntlet, so maybe she can finish him. I'm thinking a one-on-one battle. Kalista could take him. Yeah. But your Bilgewater would have to be up. The active, that is. Next dragon is an Infernal. That does make this interesting. Maybe we're going to have a pre-40-minute game. That's the type of games I like. Lots of action and fighting over objectives. KT could find a way to secure this next Infernal. It would be very difficult for SKT to be able to claw their way back from a double inhibitor down, even from an even gold exchange. That's a heads up play by Azir, getting close to Jax so that he can leap away towards the Azir. Jax does not have his flash up, still about 30 seconds left on that cooldown, so very heads up play, good communication. There by Pawn and Score working together here, mid-jungle synergy. We hear about it frequently, the LCS casters. Faker's got his Lucidity Boots finished, his Frost Queen Claim. Working on next items, got the Kindle Gem ready for upgrading. One item each for the top lane, but they're not doing any damage. That's why we're not seeing the top lane very often, because there's even less going on than this bottom lane. Blade of the Rune King now finished from Callista, so this is a slight power spike for her. As you can get a one-on-one fight, so they're doing the ultimate here. I don't think they expect to kill the Tahm Kench. You're mostly just looking to get out summoner spells, maybe try to get them to burn a flash. And yes, that was an ultimate that had a very, very low to no chance of getting a kill, but that wasn't their objective there. It's not always about getting a kill. Just getting that Tahm Kench out of this bottom lane has enabled them to poke onto the turret and allowing the Braum now to roam. Get some extra vision, be able to give the Jarvan a little bit of safety, and they're going to all three take this dragon. And that's all from the Callista being able to knock the support out, and all it cost was an ultimate. So at an initial look, you'd look at that play and think, oh, what a waste of an ultimate. Now Braum can get caught. Now Callista doesn't have the big engage, the CC of throwing her support at the target. You're losing all this kill pressure for a minute and a half. But look what was taken. Infernal Dragon was taken, damage on bot tower was done, and now you have the game on a completely even keel just with that play. And very heads up play there by Bang, and I'm not sure if it was his call or effort. And this is why the Azir versus Vlad. This is why Faker picked into it. Well, he didn't pick into it. They exchanged. They went on the basis of knowledge of thinking that Vladimir was top, and they did a clever role swap, and this is why the Vladimir works for the Azir is because you can counter that ultimate, but with your pool so easily, and your pool is on such a lower cooldown that it's a very effective trade for you. And Ornn trying to get the ultimate, able to get a little bit of CC down, but nothing that's going to cause a kill. Faker is exchanging damage with Pawn. Pawn taking a surprisingly high amount of damage there from only a couple of Faker's abilities. Gold still even, Dragons even at one Infernal apiece. Third Dragon up, third Infernal. Really heads up play there by Score. I'm loving that. And as Faker with an uncharacteristic little bit of lackadaisicalness. Lackadaisicalness. Yeah, that's what I want. That's the word. It's a real word. Look it up. I didn't just make up words. I do make up words. That was not a made up word. Gonna get a little bit of a replay here. It's not much of a replay, but honestly, there's not too much to show in this game. Just timing the counter strike to where Vlad was, doing the leap to counter strike, and there he is. I think that was showing the LCK wins-loss total for Vladimir, which was 2 wins, 5 losses. And with Tal winning the last game, that means before Vlad was picked in this series, he was only 1 win, 5 losses. So that's something that's quite shocking when you take a look at the other regions. And generally, Vladimir's have, well, I believe I just saw an NALCS. He had a 50% win rate, but a much higher pick rate. He was picked, I believe, 18 times by the end of week 2, whereas here, even after this this set of Vlad being picked twice, he's only getting picked 8 times here in the LCK. There's Kalista being aggressive again against the Ezreal, establishing a little bit of lane dominance now that she's got a little bit of a CS lead and somewhat of an item lead. Job getting the pawn there. Yes, having to use the ultimate, but still worth it. You got 3 people to juggle aggro. There should be no way this Jax gets out. There you go, cleaning it up. And don't want to take too much damage there, guys. You've already taken 4 or 5 tower shots. And Jarvan shouldn't have a problem escaping there. Yeah, now here's the real objective, is the tier 1 tower after getting the double kill on Azir and Jax. So there's the first tower and the first gold objective of the game. Now here at 20 minutes, first tower down. Faker coming back in with half-life. Just able to survive just long enough for his team to converge and be able to turn that. 1100 gold lead now for SKT, not too much. The next dragon most certainly will be the objective fight, although possibly over this mid-tier 1 if KT so choose. The way that Jax is positioning here on the other side of the map is it looks like they're going to give this dragon up to SKT. And right when they show Jax in the top lane, right now, as he is right now, they're giving up the dragon. This is what that means. They know there's no way that Jax can get back to the dragon in time, so they're going to go ahead and pick this up. And this is free. This is what KT wanted. Jack's able to get some good farm. He was able to clear the wave up on top because it was crashing against his turret. Here, Deft and Bang are exchanging 80 carry shots, but SKT is able to get a few more members into the fight than KT. KT struggling to get back in. Jax coming from all the way across the map, made it directly across and is now back at his other tower. 1 kill down is KT. They're on a 5-on-4, and yet they're the ones engaging. Jax going onto the Jarvan, trying to pick up this Orin on the backside. These are a lot of weak SKT members, and really only Faker and Bang with any hit points left. Palm, 1 shot left. Bang picking it up. Is they able to pick up anything else? And it doesn't look like it. A 2 for 0, and you'd have to think that the Dragon is next. But before I was even done speaking, there was Ezreal picking up a kill with his ultimate. And if they can pick up Faker on the backside, that's going to make sure that the Infernal Dragon does not go to SKT here. Very nice, very nice. Can they get this dragon, though? Yeah, yes. All right, so gold lead, pretty close. Only 1,500 up by SKT. Dragon going to be up 1. Infernal Dragon, 2-1 for KT. Now we're going to be having some towers that the KT is going to be looking to push, and we could be seeing Baron come into play here in these next 5 minutes or so, now that we're in the 20-something minute mark. So Jarvan being able to lock a number of KT members in. Good follow-up damage by Kalista, just being able to get all kinds of damage here on the outside, shredding through that Maokai of a tank who's got less than half health. Jax and Azir are countering, but Faker waiting right around the corner, and even though Azir was trying to use his ultimate to get Faker out of the way, the pool negates that, and Azir ult goes right through the pool, and here is the ult in the tail end. Getting, looks like 4 out of 5 members hitting with that. I think it was just Faker who maybe didn't get hit by that. And KT with that one kill there, and then picking up that tail end kill on the Vladimir. Not only able to be an even 2 for 2 on that fight, but getting the kills later and being able to pick up that key Infernal Dragon at the end of that fight. So 2,000 gold lead for SKT, but down an Infernal Dragon, pretty darn even. It's going to matter about this mid game and which team can start to knock down these outer towers a little more effectively, and which team can position around this Baron a little more effectively. We haven't gone through the scaling of this comp yet, and the advantage would probably go slightly to KT because you've got 2 scaling carries versus 1. So a Jax Azir versus a Vladimir. Yes, Kalista can scale, but I don't believe she's known as a hyper carry. So but she does scale a little bit better than Ezreal. So it's either slightly in KT's favor or fairly even. The scaling match, basically, you don't want to let this go. You wanna win this when you can, even if it means taking a little bit of a risk. Mountain Dragon shaking things up because you can't get a 4th Infernal Dragon. Actually, it's only when there's 3 on one side you can't get it. So it is possible to have a 4th Infernal there. Big ultimate started by the Ornn, followed up by the Azir. SKT getting all kinds of kills, using their CC to the maximum ability. And they have a wave, but the wave is not what they're looking for. They are moving towards the Baron, although I don't think that they're just going to start it. A little bit of vision put out of the pit from SKT, just seeing what's everything that's going on. Baron at 4,300. This is where you're looking to do a Maokai ult, but she doesn't have it. 2,500. This is the make it or break it time. Kalista doing way more than the smite damage, and I did forget about the Kalista on the SKT team being able to get enough stacks in there, starting it right away, and being able to get that rend for far more than the puny smite can do, which I believe is only doing 750 damage here at level 13. There's a 3-man Ornn ult. Jax counter-striking, but still getting knocked up. Jarvan locking him in with the Cataclysm, and then Ornn charging on through with the last, but not least, knock up. Def looking to pick up a red buff before heading back. Alright, it's SKT's time to put some pressure on the base. Bang looking extraordinary on the Kalista. Definitely the highlight of the SKT team. Blank also doing a good job. Wave clear is pretty good on the KT side, so whenever you have an Azir, that's definitely helps to clear out waves. Only a minute 45 left, and no major objectives taken. Doesn't like SKT is going to try to push things too much. wanting to make sure that they close out this game. Well, it's not even about closing out. It's about not losing, not trying to be overly aggressive here. Now that you have a slight objective. Orin making a steal, getting that blue buff away. Got a nice 3-item build there from Orin. All kinds of resistances, all kinds of auras to help his team, slows, cooldown reduction, all that good stuff. Braum taking the brunt of that damage. Because it went to Braum, not too much damage. And should be an uncontested dragon, just the Ezreal ult. When you have a Callista, able to get a good 10-15 arrows in the target, there's not much anyone can do as long as she remembers to rend. A little bit of piggybacking going on there. Score jumping onto Smeb. And really it was only the Mountain Dragon that SKT got off of that Baron, so unusually passive, not putting any sort of major pressure, just making sure the waves are pushing, and we have bot lane and top lane both pushing favorably for SKT, and now they can look to go into the jungle of KT and start to place their own vision and get their own control. There, we just saw 3 wards by SKT over on the blue side. Make that 4. Full vision from SKT on this top side. This is the area they want to fight in. They got wards upon wards upon zombie wards. Okay, so looking for the next team fight. KT only has 1 tower down. And that opposed to the 3 towers down by SKT. Lots of gold on the map. And we're going to see if they're able to collect any of that before SKT put the final touches. Significant gold lead now at 5,000 at 32 minutes. It's enough that makes it to make a difference. Now they're switching over to the bot lane. Bot lane. Orin engaging onto the Jax, countering with the Counter-Strike. Once again, great ultimate by Ezreal. Getting 4 of them in there. Orin knocking out 2, but Devour comes out by Tom Kench to get the last. Vlad into the back lines, getting the ultimate off and then pulling out. Orin coming in for the engage behind their lines. Ezreal disengaging with the ultimate. SKT on the run. 3 of them are really weak now. They're looking to try to get in there to finish. Maokai at the front line. The triple kill by the Azir. Pawn. Big, big, big damage. That ultimate to stop the chase. With that kill, that would have been the Quadra. Realizing pushing is much more valuable than the last kill. I guarantee you in a solo queue game that Azir goes for that Braum. But this isn't a solo queue game. This is the multi-time world champions SKT with the arguably best player in esports history in Faker, and you have them 1-1. You should not be chasing kills at all. And good coaching and good concentration and dedication by these players that they understand the value of this win. And this is going to be an uncontested Baron, and Jarvan could have been around for a steal, but he knows that he would have been nearly alone out there, and it would have been just a false attempt. Here, Jarvan getting into the back line, followed up CC. After CC, we went Braum to Vlad, getting in there with the Ornn. Finally in there with the Jarvan, countered by the Azir, and that counter motion and trapping the Ornn inside the Cataclysm, while Azir could just poke, followed up by the Tahm Kench, as you saw, cutting off the retreat. And KT turning, which was all the advantage was for SKT, up 5,000 gold, up all that pressure. Now, with a Baron advantage for KT, even gold for all intents and purposes. Yes, it's 700 for SKT, but at 35 minutes, it might as well be even. All 5 members down here in the bot lane. Should be an easy tower pickup. Kalista getting red over there on her side. Gonna have to respond. Can't have 5 members with Baron pushing without some sort of response, because they'll just push all the way to the base. Faker coming up from behind. They realize what's happening. Braum with the ult engage. Tahm Kench looking to get the deft out. Maokai trying to CC for the team. SKT is just too strong in this moment. They keep trying to re-engage, but KT just not enough. Faker coming in from the back line, followed up with the Ornn engage, was more than enough for SKT to be able to get a 3-0, and that was with KT with Baroned up minions. So a real drop there. I don't understand how you let yourself this happen. So Jax looks like he wants to engage. He counter-strikes. The counter-strike's already down. Ezreal's trying to get out, and just the double CC here inside of the Cataclysm, inside the bush, it's just too much. And you just can't get caught close together. And that's what it was, is being a little bit too far forward, having that Vladimir being right in the backside. With the Ornn engage, and it's just a little bit too much, and they save most of their group CC for the engage onto that bush, and down goes 3 members of KT fairly quickly. They still have Baron, but their push is effectively stopped. At top tower is about the only easy gold left on the map. It's a good little tower to get. You then can buy with the gold that I believe these two members have not went back to base. So you pick up this tower, and now to go buy. So Jax is going back to buy. Slight lead for SKT, who have Elder Dragon, picking that up when KT was dead. This is a time where SKT wants to fight. You only have this buff for a couple of minutes. They're calling the top side. They're calling Blue's blue side. Top side of the map. Can they get the vision down? Can they get the engage? They've managed to multiple times in this game. Braum, J4, and Ornn working in conjunction, where one of them starts the fight and the other 2 make sure to lock up as many members as possible, while Vlad and Kalista do ample damage. So only 45 seconds left on this Elder Dragon. KT possibly lets this inhibitor go and then puts up a defense. It's going to be up to them. So here's Orin's ult coming out. Only getting it on the Tahm Kench. No big deal. Jax did not need to use the Counter-Strike there. It's most valuable cooldown pretty much down. So a little bit of fake engaging by KT. SKT kind of knows that they're baiting them. Only 10 seconds left on this Elder Dragon, and SKT looks like they're giving up the mid lane. Push. Oof. 4 of them there. Just went off. The minions are going to get it. That cannon minion is going to get it. No, it doesn't get it. Just being able to turn him away, barely, is KT. And there's a big difference between that inhibitor staying up with a little bit of life and that inhibitor going down. It's a lot of pressure. Yes, it's at 40 minutes. Yes, even inhibitor minions here can be cleared fairly easy, but the difference between having an inhibitor and not having an inhibitor is very, very big. Bang is level 18, but he must not have max items yet, and he does not. He still has a stopwatch, so he's looking to pick up a little bit more gold. Normally at level 18, you're not out looking for more gold. You're looking to push waves. You're looking to get objectives. You're looking to win team fights. Getting jungle camps when you're level 18, not generally what you need to do, unless you're trying to finish that last item. It shouldn't be more than an item away. Baron is up right now. Orin engaging. Once again, Jax uses his ult preemptively. Ultimate's being countered and recountered. KT trying to disengage. Ezreal picking up Faker on the back end. We have Maokai ultimate flashing forward, knowing that they have a 5-on-4 advantage. And he's the tank. Going up with Tahm Kench. The 2 tanks go ahead and get forward. You're going to see if they can get Kalista, but Kalista seems to be moving a little bit too far backwards, but that is a 2-0, and if they do anything but get this inhibitor and then go for Baron, I will be shocked. They could be looking to finish. I'm not that shocked at the finish, but I would be shocked if they didn't try to take something else. TP coming in from the Maokai. He's in on the front line. He's tanking a turret. He goes ahead and twisted advance to the background. SKT's trying to fight under the 2 turrets, but they keep dying. There's only 2 of them left. KT looks like they're going for the finish, and just being able to pick it up. Double kill for the Ezreal. Kill for Jax. And most importantly, Nexus down for KT. Eking it out. Questionable week 1 from KT, losing to Afrika. Here they're coming right back, and although SKT is beleaguered, able to pick up their win over their main rivals. Again, as I said, they did not beat SKT the entire 2017 year. And there it looks like a couple of tears are shed. It looks like that was Deft over there. Just feeling the magnitude of the moment. It's a little bit of confidence when you know that you can beat these guys, and then so if you see them in the playoffs, you know that we've done it before. We just did it recently. We just did it this year. We can do it again. This is our year, boys. But whereas if you've lost the last 3, 4 times, and let's say maybe even your last 6 or 7 games in a row because they play series, trying to turn that around in the playoffs, it's very daunting, and it normally does not go in the favor of the team that's losing, and a lot of emotion here. I believe that again, that's Pom shedding a tear, knowing that he belongs here. He can beat these former world champions. Now, he can get there and do it. He's got the team. He's got the organization. And Faker, he knows this is early, but I'd be shocked if there was not a little bit of worry in the back of his head. Not for much as his play, but the play of his teammates. He can control what he does, but can't always control what you do around you. But anyways, this is 3 hours of casting here from RavExel. This could be very consequential series win by KT over SKT here on week 2. And we're going to have to see the next time these guys face in the second half of the season. And I will most likely cast that. I'm going to try to put KT away for a while. I've just casted 2 of their games, and going to look to cast a few other teams here in this talent-rich region. RavExel here. This is KT up 2-1 here, second place in the league. And you could see your future world champions right here on the screen. And they know this is a big deal for them. Look at those smiles. Look at that emotion. Look at the teamwork. Look at Mata just taking control of the situation. He's the shortest, but he's got the biggest balls out of all of them. And yeah, he kind of, you know, he's had off seasons, but this was a solid performance. And even though I'm not going to give the player of the game to him, I am going to give it to his laning partner here in Deft, the Callista. As you can see, those damage charts, is able to take it. No, sorry, it's not the Callista, it's the Ezreal being able to take it. And good game.